Godzilla has had many different forms over the years, and personally, one of the best for me was the thermonuclear burning form seen in King of the Monsters. Not only was he invulnerable to Monster Zero's attacks, he also looked massively intimidating and menacing, and yeah, that thermonuclear pulse just did the trick. 3 of them actually. Here in GXK, Godzilla will spot a new look and new abilities, and one of them is an atomic pulse which we like to call the EMNP, or the electromagnetic nuclear pulse, or simply an electric nuclear pulse. We will tell you why in a bit. His new form, on the other hand, is what we term as the Pulse Godzilla form, and we will discuss this in detail right now, so let's get to it. So what is this new deadly form that Godzilla has in Godzilla Kong: The New Empire? Well, it doesn't really seem to have changed his overall body structure by much. Godzilla here still has the same basic outlook. He just seems to be crackling with atomic energy from all over his body in a hyper-irradiated form. Very different from the normal irradiated form that he had in GVK. Here his skin, after emitting the pulse, gives off a blacker tone. The spaces in between the blackened scales emit that blue glowing atomic energy from within him, and it makes you wonder if he is all ethereal atomic energy from within and his scaly body is just a shell that holds his atomic soul in place. Anyway, he seems to be overheating as well in his form, and when he dives into the ocean you can see the water boiling and steam gushing out in massive amounts. But how did he achieve it? So Godzilla has always had this ability of releasing immense amounts of radiation and atomic energy in the form of a pulse, as was seen firstly in his battle with the Muto Prime in Aftershock, although there, the majority of the power is focused upwards from the damaged dorsal plates. In King of the Monsters, due to an overload of nuclear energy donated by a nuclear device given by Serizawa, Godzilla needed to release it in order to avoid a catastrophic meltdown, and thankfully Mothra's essence was able to transform and stabilize the thermonuclear pulse in a series of 3 explosions that completely disintegrated Monster Zero and also the city of Boston. Here in the second trailer of GXK: The New Empire, Godzilla was under attack by a squadron of drones, circling around him and maneuvering in a way as to not be within reach of the Big G. So Godzilla, in a fit of rage, focuses his body to release the pulse in a similar way to how he did with the thermonuclear pulse in KOTM, but there are slight differences there too, which we shall show to you in a while. So before the pulse was emitted, you can see streaks of lightning around his body, thus showing the immense electrostatic disturbances that is being created there. And so when the nuclear energy is released, it combines with the jolts of lightning to create an electromagnetic nuclear area of effect attack. This immediately expands as a massive sphere of lightning and energy all around him, instantly vaporizing and destroying the drones and also obliterating the buildings which were in the vicinity of the blast. This electromagnetic nuclear pulse combines 3 or even 4 types of shockwave or pulse abilities seen in the previous Monsterverse entries, movies and comics. First of all, it has the bluish normal atomic energy that is present within Godzilla, so this is an aspect that is similar to what was seen in Aftershock in the battle with the Muto Prime. Secondly, the way the pulse is emitted differs from the Aftershock one and resembles the fireball sphere of the thermonuclear variation as was seen in KOTM. Also, due to his electrostatic discharges and lightning effects all around his body and even outside his body, it takes into itself certain characteristics of Ghidorah's bioelectrical discharge after he consumed electricity from Boston's power station. And lastly, theoretically it might also have an EMP pulse effect similar to that of the Mutos that disables all electrical equipment within a certain radius. But this last one is a bit of a stretch, I know. So in comparison to the thermonuclear pulse, this one differs in a few ways. Firstly, it is visibly blue in coloration while the previous one was yellow and red due to the transformation of the excess energy into a stable form by Mothra's life essence. This one is blue and has lightning associated with it. Secondly, this new pulse is seen to be emitted at the same time from every part of his body, exploding out in a nuclear electric pulse, while the thermonuclear pulse, if you look closely, this one is emitted from the dorsal plates of Godzilla, which were burning white hot and also filled with intense electric sparks and streaks, but then confined only to the dorsal plates. Lastly, the thermonuclear might still be more powerful than this new EMNP, due to the fact that the previous one was artificially caused when Serizawa exploded a nuke in a confined space inside Godzilla's lair, hence forcing his body to absorb all the trapped energy concentrated in that enclosed area. This new one, although powerful, would not cause the Boston area of effect damage, but still would be strong enough to transform the Big G into the blackened pulse Godzilla form, which he would need to shed off and evolve into a new state that would stabilize his new power, thus emerging out later in the movie as the evolved Pink Godzilla. So there you have it, the new form of Godzilla, and also his new ability, the Nuclear Electric Pulse or the EMNP, whatever floats your boat. Now if you like this video, then watch this other one as well, and do check out our channel for other Monsterverse content. We might have things you haven't seen before. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, fam.